Alright, what's going on, guys? Boy TG, welcome back to another video. So in this video, we are going to give out my top 5 bold predictions for the 2025 NHL Four Nations Faceoff. That's right, Four Nations Faceoff is going to start tomorrow with Team Canada taking on Team Sweden. So that will kick things off. Also, be sure to be on the lookout for tomorrow's episode of my Hockey Talk with TG podcast, where I break down the Four Nations face off and give you guys my predictions, my lineup, even though that they released the lineup for some of the teams already, like Canada, they released their lineups on Monday. I think USA released their lineups on Monday, but I'm going to give you guys my lineups of what I think it should have been, and then I'll give you guys my bold predictions and an in-depth analysis on the Four Nations face-off, but that will be on tomorrow's episode of my Hockey Talk with TG podcast. So make sure you stay tuned in to that. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. As soon as this loads. Anytime now. Why is it going so slow? Okay, there it is. All right, so just a couple announcements. Make sure to like and subscribe to the TG Hockey channel. Also, make sure to follow the Hockey Talk with TG podcast on all your podcast streaming platforms, so on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, with you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11:30 a.m. to noon Central Time. Please do not get the time zones mixed up. If you're listening to this on Eastern Time, it's from 12:30 p.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're listening to it on Pacific Time, it's from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. So I say this because people get the time zones mixed up and then they miss my episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. And I don't want them to miss the episodes. Please do not get the time zones mixed up. And also make sure to check out my books on Amazon. I'm thinking about writing another book. Of course, it's going to be on hockey, and then I'll have some other. It's going to be a book on hockey, but there's going to be some other books that are non-hockey related as well. So it's not just going to be on hockey. It's going to be like other non-hockey related books. All right, but I am thinking about writing another book, but I think this other book that I'm going to write is going to be something hockey related. So be on the lookout for that. If you guys didn't know, if you didn't see me post this on my Instagram story or post it on my Twitter or X account, I did have a new cover art for my Hockey Talk with TG podcast. I'll say it again in tomorrow's episode when I do the Hockey Talk TG podcast for tomorrow. This is the new cover art right here. The first one I've been using, didn't seem too much all of that, and didn't have any, style or, creativity to it. It seemed more like generic, and I felt like it was time for a change. So that's why I did this cover art right here. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the bold predictions for this one. So number 1, Canada will win the Four Nations Face-Off Championship. Now, I know some people are like, you're wrong, Canada's not going to pull it off. But you guys take a look at Canada's roster. It is stacked. It is arguably the best roster out of this tournament. Now, all these rosters are stacked in general, but Canada's roster has a lot of offensive firepower, and the defense is stacked as well. No doubt in mind that they're going to pull this off. It has a roster of veterans and young stars, and the goaltending is, good too, but USA goaltending is arguably the best out of this tournament. But Canada's roster in general is arguably the best out of this tournament. They had some tournament success before, winning gold medals and stuff, and they're going to win this first ever Four Nations Face-Off Championship. And of course, I will mention this on tomorrow's episode of the Hockey Talk TG podcast, but I'll just mention it now anyway. This also is the first NHL Nations tournament since the 2016 World Cup of Hockey. And we all know how that went. Team North America going at it against Team Sweden, I believe, in the finals. And Team North America had won that tournament. So that was a good tournament right there, World Cup of Hockey. I don't know if they're going to have the 2026 Olympics. I'm not 100% sure on that topic. But it's great to see how will this Four Nations Face-Off Championship be? But like I said, no doubt in mind, Team Canada is taking this home. Number 2, Sidney Crosby will score another golden goal for Team Canada. So, of course, what better way for Team Canada to win the first ever Four Nations Face-Off tournament than to have Sid the Kid, the team captain, Captain Canada, score another golden goal, or possibly just score a game winner in general. But I did like his golden goal that he scored in Team Canada. So, of course, Sidney Crosby has a history of delivering in clutch moments, most notably Olympic-wise, scoring the golden goal in the 2010 Olympics. I believe that was 2010 Olympics. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Sidney Crosby is good to go. He did have an arm injury that was kind of questionable whether he'll play in the Four Nations face-off or not. But he said that he's confirmed to play. He's ready to go. He's good to go. So he's going to put on a show for Team Canada for the Four Nations face-off. And his leadership as team captain positions him as a central figure in critical game situations. And I didn't have this in my lineup for Team Canada, but like I said, Team Canada posted their lineups on Monday. And so Sidney Crosby's chemistry with line mates like Nathan McKinnon and Mark Stone could create prime scoring opportunities. Like I said, I didn't have that as my lineup for Team Canada, which I don't want to give it away to you guys now. I want you guys to watch or at least listen to tomorrow's episode of the Hockey Talk TG podcast, and you'll see my lineups for Team Canada. So, but I didn't put Sidney Crosby with Mark Stone and Nathan McKinnon. I didn't put him with Nathan McKinnon. I will say this. I did put Sidney Crosby with Nathan McKinnon. I didn't put him with Mark Stone, though. I will tell you guys that. And Sidney Crosby's competitive drive often elevates his performance during significant games, making him a likely candidate for game-deciding goals. So it would be amazing to see Sidney Crosby score another golden goal, another game winner, come up clutch in the moment for Team Canada to win the Four Nations face-off tournament. Number 3, Connor McDavid will win MVP at Four Nations face-off. So, of course, Connor McDavid, he has the speed, he has the skill, and that sets him apart as one of the most dynamic players in the tournament and possibly one of the most dynamic players in the league in general. I know when I was looking at other people's predictions, they didn't have Connor McDavid winning MVP. I may be the only person that I think will win MVP in this tournament. And he won MVP in the playoffs last season. He's got a lot of hardware. He's got a lot of accolades for him in general, except the Stanley Cup, which hopefully he'll win the Stanley Cup before he retires. But if you take a look at his recent NHL seasons, they have been marked by high point totals and highlight reel plays, which underscores his offensive prowess. And he'll play first line with Sam Reinhart and Mitch Marner to start off this tournament. And I'm pretty sure he'll create chemistry with Sam Reinhart and Mitch Marner on that first line. And, even on the power play in general, if you guys took a look at Canada's power play unit 1, as you saw on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it now, it was Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Sidney Crosby, Sam Reinhart, and Cale Makar for that first power play unit. If I were Sweden, Finland, or USA, I would not be taking penalties because that first power play unit for Team Canada is absolutely stacked. It's absolutely stacked. It has a lot of high-end talent on that first power play unit, and there's no doubt in mind. I have no doubt in mind that power play unit will keep clicking and keep scoring every single time. But anyway, I feel like Connor McDavid will take home MVP in this tournament when Team Canada wins. Let me know you guys' thoughts down below in the comments. So I always like to hear from you, whether you agree or disagree with some of the stuff I said, or maybe if there's something that I should have added on to what I didn't say make sure to put that down in the comments as well. I always like to see you guys engaging with the videos and the episodes of my podcast I put out. Whether you agree or disagree with the stuff that I be saying, I will always like to hear from you. Number 4, Philip Forsberg will stand out for Team Sweden. So I know some people were saying Elias Pettersson will be a standout player for Team Sweden. I wouldn't blame you if you said that, but Philip Forsberg, I feel like will stand out for Team Sweden. I know the Nashville Predators have had a rough kind of a season, but Philip Forsberg, he's known for his offensive creativity and goal scoring ability, making him a key asset for Team Sweden. I think he scored, at least got 300. I don't know if it was 300 goals or 300 points that he had with the Predators, but it was a game when the Predators were taking on the Blackhawks at Bridgestone Arena, and he had like 300 goals, or at least 300 points in his career. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I may have to look that up later after this video. But he's done a lot in his career. He's made it to the Stanley Cup final. He's put on some highlight reel plays during his time with, or at least playing for the Nashville Predators. And there's no doubt in mind that he'll bring that offensive creativity to Team Sweden in the Four Nations Faceoff tournament when they kick off their first game in the Four Nations tournament against Team Canada tomorrow. And Philip Forsberg's chemistry with Limeys could lead to significant offensive contributions, and his performance in recent NHL seasons indicates that he's in peak form. He's in peak form heading into the tournament. And his versatility allows him to adapt to different game situations, enhancing his impact. So he will be a standout player for Team Sweden, and he will lead Sweden in points and possibly goal scorer for Team Sweden right there. And then number 5, Finland will have the most goals scored against. So as you take a look at Team Finland's offensive lines, their offensive lines are really solid. Especially the top 6 lines for Team Finland is probably, I wouldn't say the best top 6 in this tournament, but it's a great top 6. They actually have a great top 6. However, their defense is weak. The defense is weak. It's not going to do too much of anything in this tournament. And if Miro Heiskanen and Jani Hakanpää would still participate in this tournament, I probably wouldn't say that. I probably wouldn't say Finland's defense was weak if Miro Heiskanen and Jani Hakanpää would still participate in this tournament. But because they're out of this tournament, I kind of have some questions about Finland's defense since they're out of this tournament. And the remaining defensemen may face challenges against the high-powered offense of teams like Team Canada, Team USA's, and UC Saul's. He's one of the best goaltenders in the league despite the Predators season, but he's going to have a lot of goals scored on him in this tournament because of Finland's, defense. And like I said before, Finland's offensive lines are strong. They're solid. It's not bad. But if the games become high scoring, the defense might struggle to keep up. You should take a look at their defense. They got Henri Jokiharju, Rasmus Ristolainen, Esa Lindell, and Juuso Välimäki, Olli Mata, and Euro Vakanainen. That's Finland's defense. And there's not a whole lot on that defense, by the way. So that's why I have some questions on the defense. Esa Lindell or Henri Jokiharju could be the key factor for Finland's defense, but overall, that defense is not it. So that's just my thoughts on it, but let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for this video. So I just want to share my top 5 bold predictions with you guys before the Four Nations face-off gets underway tomorrow. So as always, leave a comment down below. Make sure to like and subscribe to the TG Hockey channel. Make sure to follow the Hockey Talk with TG podcast on all your podcast streaming platforms. So on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. We're with you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11:30 a.m. to noon Central Time. And you want to make sure you're staying up to date on the latest NHL news, teams, players, stats, and other in-depth analysis I give to you guys on the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. So, yeah. But hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And keep God first. Always keep him first. And stay tuned for Wednesday's episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. And I'll see you guys next time.